Welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu, and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. In 2024, I made it pretty clear Rise of the Ronin was my game of the year. But what is my pick for 2025? Well, it's a game that is nothing like Rise of the Ronin. My game of the year is the 100-line Last Defense Academy. Some of you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute. Is this that visual novel game? Is this an anime game? How can this beat everything else? I know not everyone will look at it this way, but my main point is this. I know some people heard that name and it's utter disbelief. So hopefully in this video, I can share with you some of the things that drew me to the conclusion that this game is just spectacular. If you are new to the channel, we cover anime and gaming topics. Every now and then we cover conventions. If that sounds remotely intriguing, please consider subscribing.
Let's get this party started! Everybody in the house get down!
We'll be okay. Nothing bad is gonna happen. Nothing ever does.
I know that, but... Say the thing.
Really? Again?
Please, for me.
There are so many things to discuss, but let's dive into what kind of game this is and who it is made by. This is a visual novel / tactical role-playing game that released on the Nintendo Switch and PC April 24th, 2025. This is a game that is compatible with the Switch 2, which is how I've been playing it. I even included it on my Nintendo Switch games running on a Switch 2 video. Please check that out if you're so inclined. The game consists of you chatting and interacting with characters, which is the visual novel segment of the game. Then you have a portion where you gather resources outside of the school, and it resembles a board game. The last and certainly not least segment plays like a grid turn-based RPG. The story starts with you and your childhood friend meeting up one day and spending a little time together. In this world, the only safe place is the Tokyo complex. Apparently nobody leaves the complex, so this is a science fiction story where these are like the last survivors of Earth. In fact, people really don't know what the outside world is like. They don't know about seasons, they don't know about bad weather and stuff like that. On this one day, invaders are attacking the complex, and the alarms and sirens are going off, and the main character is trying to evacuate with his childhood friend. But the main character finds himself in a situation where he's unable to evacuate, and he can't get to a bunker, so he has to take a stand. He then bumps into this little guy that goes by Siri, and I'm not joking, and he takes a chance and does what Siri says.
You're now an official member of my illustrious academy!
Academy?
I hereby, formally and majestically authorize your immediate transfer! Congratulations! Hooray! Hooray! Woohoo!
Now this game is a collaboration between Kazutaka Kodaka and Kotaro Ochikoshi. That is the main creator and writer behind Danganronpa, and the writer of the Infinity and Zero Escape series. Just to juxtapose these writing styles, we have the Danganronpa guy who likes twists and turns and stories that deal with tragedy, deception, hopefulness, and people using their talents for good and evil. And then on the other end, we have Zero Escape guy. I'm trying to simplify this, okay? That's why it sounds goofy. On the other side, we have the Zero Escape guy that loves his plot twists intertwined with science fiction and philosophical themes. So when these forces combine, what you get is this very dialogue heavy anime that has you on the edge of your seat. I'm not joking, I'm being serious here. We get this story that has absolutely absurd characters that somehow manage to keep you highly engaged, enthralled. This is a game and story that's not supposed to be like hyper realistic or relatable, but there are pieces scattered throughout the game where you can connect with the characters, whether it's because something humorous happened or it's a very serious story segment that's filled with sorrow and regret. So the creation of this game had some major trials and tribulations. I won't go into that here, but I did make a video on this about a year ago. It's like an 8 or 9 minute video. Please check that out if you feel interested about the development issues. Now, since I'm already talking about the characters, I just want to touch on how these characters are insane. So minus the main character, Nozomi, everyone else is batshit crazy. But hold on. That's not a bad thing. It allows for some parts to be really funny. It allows for you to not really know what kind of person they are. Let's go with Tsubasa, for example. She really is a sweetheart, but it's kind of hard to know this about her due to her constantly getting sick all the time. At the beginning, I found the whole gagging thing and getting sick very annoying and just weird. But now that I'm more familiar with her and understand her, the getting sick thing really does happen on cue, so it is actually kind of funny. But anyways, my point is that these characters are super extreme, over the top, but that actually helps things, but maybe not in the way that is the most obvious. I think the only character I don't like, I shall not mention, but she wears a mask, so you know exactly who I'm talking about. The child is evil, okay, and nobody likes to be talked down to, so yeah, I don't like her. But as you can guess, the diverse cast of characters creates absolute chaos since these are a bunch of random people thrown into extreme circumstances, not necessarily friends by the way, but that's what makes it so engaging and entertaining.
Really? I still can't get used to it. But maybe that's just me.
This fish is so cold and refreshing.
Hey, I haven't grilled that one yet. It's still frozen.
Oh, that's all right. I'll have it as it is. I actually prefer my food nice and frosty.
Yeah, waiting for it to cook is boring anyway. But that anticipation's half the fun of a barbecue. I don't know what half this stuff is, but it sure is good. You know, I've heard that human meat tastes like chicken.
This is chicken.
It's nice to see everyone having a good time.
As far as how the game performs, I am playing it on the Switch too, and it looks great. It clearly looks like it's being upscaled when it's in dock mode, but let's pretend you're playing handheld mode. And if it is running at 720p and it's being upscaled to 1080p, it still just looks great to me. So handheld is a win, docked is a win. So either way, you're gonna enjoy this game. Let's get into more of how the game actually plays. As I said earlier, the main portion of the game is delivered in these still images of each character, kinda resembling a manga or comic book. I really love the art style and how very distinct each of these psychopaths look. Now, as much as I love this aesthetic and find it absolutely charming, I'm making this review not just for people who want to play this, but those who have never even heard of this game. So it would go without saying that yes, there are going to be some people that are going to be turned off by just seeing still images and hearing hums and ahs and there's going to be some people that aren't feeling that, and then other times they're going to see the still images again and get like these long set pieces of characters just spilling their guts out, you know, just talking about all kinds of stuff. But this is more or less the visual novel experience. But if you've never seen this, it will be quite jarring. But I would describe it to a newcomer as an interactive comic book. I think once you see it as a stylization choice, and you don't focus on like, why is it not moving like Call of Duty? Why is it not moving like God of War? You'll kind of get over yourself and just accept the game for what it is. This is a stylization choice. This isn't because, of some kind of budget constraint or that the game is low quality or anything like that. This is a stylization choice. Combat feels like something they nailed. I mean, I am very pleasantly surprised by this. So with Danganronpa and Raincode, the gameplay mechanics feel more like mini games than actual combat. Now, both of these games did mini games in fascinating ways to reveal clues on who the killer was, or hey, this is how we're gonna move the story along. So they were very interesting, and it would be unfair to label them as meaningless. But in this game, you are more or less playing a grid turn-based RPG, and it's fire. You are trying to build up as much voltage as you can, because the voltage helps you give characters an additional move or deliver a special attack. You have to do all this while defending a generator. Most of the time it's a generator you're defending, but there are times they like to throw a monkey wrench in and you have to protect someone and defend a generator. And sometimes it's multiple generators, especially towards the end part of the game. If your generator gets destroyed or all your characters die, it's over. Everyone's abilities are very different from each other. Some people can attack several people at an angle, others it's a straight line with minor damage, and others can attack one person and deliver lots of damage. You also have potions that boost character stats. There are even fences and bombs you can put up to keep the enemy at bay. There are a lot of ways to secure a victory, so if you find yourself having trouble with any squad commanders, try setting up fences, or try drinking the agility potions to give you additional moves. You just have to use everything at your disposal. Now, if you have played any of the Danganronpa games, you know that the music is so good. Well, 100 Line has the same composer, Masafumi Takada. When you listen to the music in this game and Raincode, you realize this guy still gets busy. It didn't just stop with Danganronpa. Let me say that again. It did not just stop with Danganronpa, because I always get into my little rants about this, but I just want to point this out. This guy still kills it in the music department. The music has moments of somberness, despair, silliness, and tension. Now, one of the things that makes this game unique is that you have 100 endings in this game. And just so we are clear, I am not planning to unlock all of these damn endings. Are you kidding me? No, forget it. Just getting through the first playthrough is a good chunk of time. I really don't think what I'm about to say is my first criticism of the game, as this is just me telling you how it is. 100 Line Last Defense is a commitment. The payoff is huge, and you are going to enjoy whatever amount of time you put into this. But you will have to put up a considerable amount of time, even just for the first playthrough. The good news is that the game will allow you to skip segments once you are attempting different endings. And because this is a spoiler-free review, I will just say you will know when you have a chance to alter or change something. It will also be obvious when your choice is going in a different direction and you're like, no, wait, I don't want this. You will know. And you can even stop that from happening and just, load up your previous save file. Or, I don't know, maybe you're like Darumi and you just want to see all the bad endings. With that being said, while there are some throwaway endings, there are just some that are diabolical. And I know, I'm sorry, the word is played out beyond recognition, but it fits here. Now, this wouldn't be a fair review if I didn't mention the flaws of this game. Now, before I get into that, I just want to remind you that the game has an amazing art style. and graphics. Performance is good on Switch 1 and Switch 2. Music is phenomenal. Combat is solid. The story has so many twists and turns that keep it highly engaging. And last, but certainly not least, you get a diverse group of interesting and zany characters. These are a lot of positives to a great game. And let's be honest, most games are not like this. Just thought you should know. So this game does have a repetitive nature to it. And that is the part when you might have, let's say you just finished off a big fight. And now the next couple of days, you are getting a lot of free time back to back. I want to warn newcomers right now about this. Free time in this game is not the same as social links in a Persona game. Manage your expectations right now. You will bump into some characters and see a little asterisk above their head, and the person says something goofy, and the game asks you, hey, do you want to spend time with this character? And you're like, sure. And sometimes that interaction is 3.5 seconds. Sometimes it's 20 seconds. It varies, but you are mainly doing it to boost your stats. Maybe hear a brief funny story. This is nothing like social links where you share a vulnerable moment with the character and you see this person grow as a human being. I think you learn way more about characters in this game when you have to convince them to join the fight.
Yeah? Hey! Huh?
And by the way, this kind of ties into really my only second criticism of the game, which is these actual segments here are my least favorite part of the entire game. But truth be told, these segments that happen where you have to convince someone to join your side, this is where you truly learn characters' motivations. You learn the way they think. You learn about what inspires them and what motivates them as people. Okay, all of that's true. All of that's great, but it's still my least favorite part. And it's really because it just wallows in it for too long. And you really, as the player, you don't know anything about these characters' motivations or anything just yet. So you're kind of blindly guessing at this point. At least I feel like that. Before we wrap this up, I just would like to say, no game has made me laugh in 2025 as much as this game has. I'm going to try not to get too deep into this, but the game that had the potential to be my number one, besides the game I'm talking about right now, is Silent Hill F. Instead, it's coming in at number 2. And I'm going to make a review for that game as well, so please look forward to that. You know, I'm going to get in the weeds on that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, it's going to be definitely more criticisms, I guess you could say, but we're going to try to be thoughtful about this, you know, because there are still so many things about Silent Hill F that makes it like just amazing. Especially in terms of the story direction and the nuanced symbolism. It's utterly fascinating to me. But I think when push comes to shove, we play games to have a good time, okay? 100 Line made me laugh as well as give me anxiety and tension. And it was so intense. It really entertained me from beginning to end, and it took me away from the real world. I think when a game delivers on so many fronts, it makes it hard to deny its impact. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been quite a few games on the channel I have sung praises for. They had a lot of flaws, but guess what? Sometimes the game is just number one because it's fun. But I have to tell you, if you like visual novels, you should play this. If you love JRPGs, but you never played a visual novel, you should play this. If you played more than one Danganronpa game or Zero Escape game, I should only hear two responses from you. It should either be, yeah, the game looks amazing, I can't wait to play it, or I have already played it. That's it. That's all there is. Because if not, fake fan detected. Fake fan detected. Hey, I don't make the rules, guys. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. This means that essentially your Danganronpa membership is null and voided. I really don't want to spoil anything about this game story-wise, but I just want to talk about this particular sequence. There is a section where the look of the game changes. It's funny, it's weird, the colors are wonky, but more importantly, it ties into one of the boss fights. And it's just a very creative concept, and it's so small, small in scale. Like, this isn't supposed to be like this massive thing that shocks you or trips you out, but it's just very creative how they cause chaos in this sequence. And it just had me in awe. When you see stuff like this, it just reminds you like so much effort went into this game, so many little details and nuances, and that's what makes this game so damn special. I remember reading an article where Kazutaka Kodaka said he put a ton of ideas in this game and that he put his best work into this project, and the fact that he worked on this game for several years and the game came out so damn good. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Your efforts were not in vain. But I would really like to know, what do you guys think down in the comment section? Do you think I'm out of my mind? Do you think I'm losing it? How is this visual novel type game my game of the year? And if you missed it, I'm gonna say it again for you guys. You owe it to yourself if you're a Danganronpa fan. You owe it to yourself if you're a Zero Escape fan to play this game. It's so good. And you know what? I'm going to even go on a limb here and say, you know what? Okay, I'll let you have that, Master Detective Archives rain code. It doesn't quite feel like a Danganronpa game, but there's aspects to it that are there for sure, especially when you're going into little detective mode or whatever. But this game, it's so good. It's so good. And if you felt like, rain code was not quite there, it was good, but it wasn't amazing, this game is amazing. You owe it to yourself to play it. You owe it to yourself to check it out. It's so damn good. All right, I think I made my point, okay? I think you get it. But I appreciate any of you people that have lasted to the very end. It means so much to me. Like I said, we definitely have plenty more videos on the way. It has been a busy time of the year, but I really do truly love making videos such as this. I love getting in the weeds and talking about this stuff and talking about, the games that really resonate with me. As always, I appreciate you watching the video to the very end. I'll see you next time.